Welcome to Stories by Candlelight, a place for cozy, immersive storytelling. This is an original story, created exclusively for this channel. If you enjoy relaxing stories, slow burn romance, and warm winter tales, please like, follow, and subscribe to support the channel. Now, settle in, and let's begin. Chapter 7, Part 1. The house did not let them sleep. Kathrin realized that sometime after midnight, when she became aware of the silence. Not the quiet of night, but the kind of silence that listens back. The walls hummed softly, a steady vibration that never fully faded. Even when she closed her eyes, she could feel it beneath her ribs, like a second pulse layered beneath her own. She lay awake staring at the ceiling, counting the spaces between the beams. Somewhere down the hall, a floorboard creaked. Not footsteps. A warning. Kathrin sat up instantly. The mark on her wrist cooled, then warmed again, as if testing her awareness. She pulled the blanket tighter around herself and listened. "Mikkel?" she whispered. No answer. The house creaked again, this time sharper. Kathrin swung her legs over the side of the bed. The moment her feet touched the floor, the hum shifted direction, drawing her attention down the hallway, not toward the attic, not toward the front door, toward the back of the house. "No," she murmured. "Not after dark." Rule 1. She stayed where she was. The hum intensified, not urging her forward, holding her still. Kathrin exhaled slowly, grounding herself the way Mikkel had taught her earlier. In through the nose, out through the mouth, slow, intentional. The house steadied. Then she heard it. A sharp intake of breath. Not hers. Kathrin froze. It came again, painful, controlled, unmistakably human. "Mikkel?" She was on her feet before she could think. The hum surged violently, vibrating through the floor, through her bones. Rule 3. If he bleeds, she must not follow. Kathrin clenched her fists so hard her nails bit into her palms. "I hear you," she whispered, not sure if she was speaking to Mikkel or the house. "I hear you. I'm not moving." Another sound drifted down the hall, a soft thud, like someone sinking down against a wall. "Mikkel?" she called louder now. His voice came back strained, barely above a whisper. "Kathrin, stay where you are." Her chest tightened painfully. The mountain's whisper slipped through the walls, subtle and patient. "You don't have to listen to wood and nails." Kathrin squeezed her eyes shut. "You don't get to talk." The whisper laughed, soft, almost fond. "He's hurt." The image formed instantly in her mind. Mikkel's bleeding palm, the cracked scar, his jaw clenched in pain. Her instincts screamed at her to move, to help, to reach him. The hum flared, hot and sharp, like the house grabbing her by the shoulders. Kathrin gasped. "Thank you," she whispered. She stayed. Footsteps approached from the other direction, quick, panicked. Her father burst into the hallway, hair disheveled, eyes wild. "Kathrin, what's happening?" "Mikkel's hurt," she said, voice shaking. "But I can't go to him." Her father followed her gaze down the hall, listening. His face went pale. "Why the hell not?" "The mountain will use it," she said. "If I follow him now, it learns how to pull me." Her father swore softly. "Then I'll go." The hum faltered. Mikkel's voice came again, sharper now. "No, don't. It's watching for movement." Her father froze. Kathrin swallowed hard. "Where are you?" "By the back stairs," Mikkel said. I slipped." It reopened the scar. The mountain's whisper curled closer, sliding through the walls like smoke. "Blood is an invitation." Kathrin felt the words try to sink into her chest. She pushed them away. "What do we do?" her father asked, voice breaking. Kathrin closed her eyes. She listened. Not to the whisper, not to the fear, but to the house. The hum shifted again. A new vibration, steady and directional. "It wants you to move," she said quietly. "Not me." Her father stared at her. "You're sure?" "Yes." The house creaked once, firm and decisive. Her father nodded and moved slowly down the hall, careful not to rush, careful not to react. Kathrin stayed where she was, back pressed against the wall, heart hammering so hard she thought it might betray her. The whisper hissed in frustration. Wrong choice. Her father's footsteps reached the back stairs. A soft curse. Then Mikkel's breath steadied slightly. "I'm okay," Mikkel said, forcing calm into his voice. "It's not bad. Just painful." Kathrin sagged with relief she hadn't realized she was holding. The house exhaled. For a brief moment, everything stilled. Then the mark on Kathrin's wrist burned, sharp and sudden. She gasped, clutching it. The whisper surged back, no longer patient. "Then I will come to you." The temperature in the hallway dropped violently. Frost bloomed across the walls, racing toward her door. Kathrin's heart slammed. "No," she whispered. "You don't get inside." The house reacted instantly. Every light flared at once. The frost stopped dead, cracking loudly as if striking an invisible barrier. The whisper shrieked, not in sound but in fury. The pressure vanished. Kathrin slid down the wall, shaking. Her father returned moments later, supporting Mikkel carefully. Blood stained the cloth wrapped around his palm, but the bleeding had slowed. Mikkel looked at her, eyes dark and intense. "You didn't move." She swallowed. "I wanted to. That's why it tried harder," he said. "And that's why you won." Kathrin looked down at her wrist. The mark had changed. The frost pattern had grown more complex now, branching outward in delicate lines, stronger, sharper, unmistakably awake. "What does that mean?" her father asked. Mikkel's voice was quiet. "It means the mountain tried to take control tonight." "And failed," Kathrin said. Mikkel nodded slowly. "And it won't forget that." Outside, far beyond the walls, Shadow Mountain shifted under the weight of new attention. Not hunting, planning. The house did not relax after the night passed. Kathrin noticed it the moment the sky lightened from black to deep gray. The hum beneath the floorboards never fully faded. It stayed tight, coiled, like a held breath. Even the air felt different. Thicker, heavier, as if the walls themselves were concentrating. Mikkel sat at the kitchen table, his injured hand wrapped in fresh cloth. He hadn't slept. Neither had she. Her father moved quietly around the room, careful not to make sudden sounds. The way he watched the corners of the ceiling told her he no longer believed danger only lived outside. Kathrin flexed her fingers slowly. The mark on her wrist responded immediately, frost tracing faint patterns along her skin before fading again. Mikkel noticed. "It's reacting faster." She nodded. "It feels closer, like it's right under my thoughts." "That's because it is," he said. "When it fails, it doesn't retreat. It studies." Her father stopped moving. "Studies what?" "You," Mikkel said, looking at Kathrin. "Specifically what stops you." Kathrin swallowed. "Then it knows the house works." "Yes," Mikkel said, "which means it will try to weaken your reliance on it." As if summoned by his words, the house creaked, slow and deliberate. Not warning, not anger, decision. The journal slid across the table on its own, stopping directly in front of Kathrin. The leather cover was warm beneath her palms. She opened it. New writing filled the page, steady and precise, her mother's hand unmistakable. "The house will bind her as tightly as it shields her. Protection requires sacrifice." Kathrin's chest tightened. "Bind me how?" Mikkel leaned forward, reading over her shoulder. His jaw set. "By limiting you." Her father's voice rose sharply. "Absolutely not." More words formed beneath the first line. Rule 4. She must not call the house's strength unless she is willing to lose something of herself. Kathrin stared. "Lose what?" The page remained still for a moment. Then slowly, another line appeared. "Each time she leans too hard on protection, the house will take what keeps her human." Silence fell heavy and cold. Her father slammed his hand on the table. No, that's not acceptable." Mikkel didn't look away from the page. "It's not punishment," he said quietly. "It's balance." Kathrin's throat felt tight. "What does that mean in practice?" "It means," Mikkel said slowly, "that if you use the house to block the mountain repeatedly, you'll start losing." "Pieces. Pieces of what?" her father demanded. Mikkel hesitated. "Emotion," he said. "Memory, sensation, the things that anchor you to being human instead of something else." Kathrin felt a chill settle deep in her bones. "I don't want that," she whispered. "I know," Mikkel said. "But neither does the house want you to burn yourself out, trying to fight something older than you." The house creaked again, softer now, almost apologetic. Kathrin closed the journal. "So I can't rely on it anymore." "You can," Mikkel said, "but only when it truly matters. Otherwise, it will start pulling you away from yourself to keep you safe." Her father ran a hand through his hair, breathing hard. "This is insane. You're telling me my daughter has to choose between being human and being alive?" "No," Mikkel said. She has to learn when to fight and when to endure. Kathrin felt something inside her settle. Not calm, but resolve. "Then teach me," she said. "Teach me how to hold it back without using the house." Mikkel looked at her sharply. "That's dangerous. So is everything else," she replied. "At least this way, I'm choosing." The house hummed, quiet approval. Mikkel studied her for a long moment. Then he nodded. "All right." Her father stepped forward. "I don't like this." Mikkel met his gaze. "Neither do I. But it's the only way she doesn't lose herself." Kathrin swallowed. "Where do we start?" Mikkel glanced toward the back of the house, toward the boundary line she had crossed the day before. "We start," he said, "by teaching you how to hear the mountain without answering it." Kathrin's heart skipped. "That sounds impossible." "It's not," he said. "But it hurts." The mark on her wrist pulsed once, sharp and cold, as if in agreement. Outside, far beyond the walls, Shadow Mountain shifted, not violently, not angrily, attentively. It had felt the change, and for the first time since Kathrin returned, the mountain did not whisper her name. It waited. They trained in the safest place the house could offer. Yet it still felt like standing on the edge of something deep. Mikkel led Kathrin into the front room where the floorboards hummed the strongest, where the light always seemed a fraction warmer, as if the house gathered itself there. He shut the curtains, not to make it dark, but to remove distraction. Snowlight still leaked through the fabric in pale stripes. Her father watched from the doorway, arms folded, jaw tight. He looked like a man trying to keep a storm out with his body. Mikkel faced Kathrin. "This won't look like magic," he said quietly. "It will look like you doing nothing while your instincts scream." Kathrin swallowed. "I'm good at screaming." Mikkel almost smiled. "Almost. Good. Then you'll recognize the moment it starts." He nodded toward her wrist. "Sit." Kathrin lowered herself onto the couch, palms on her knees. The mark pulsed faintly as if it didn't like stillness. The hum under the floor shifted, attentive. Mikkel crouched in front of her. "You're going to listen for the mountain." Kathrin's stomach tightened. "I already hear it." "Not the whisper," he said. "The pressure beneath it. The part that pushes and pulls without words." Her father scoffed softly. Mikkel didn't look back. Kathrin closed her eyes. At first there was only the house. Its steady rhythm, the faint warmth in the walls, the tiny creaks that sounded like breath. Then, underneath that, something colder pressed in. A thin, distant vibration, like an invisible string pulled tight far away. Her mark cooled. Kathrin's shoulders stiffened. "I feel it." Mikkel's voice stayed calm. "Good. Don't fight it. Don't push it away. Let it exist without responding." The cold pressure grew sharper, as if noticing she had noticed. It pressed at the edges of her thoughts, searching for a door. Kathrin's heart sped up. "Breathe," Mikkel said softly. "In, hold, out." Kathrin obeyed. The pressure didn't fade, but it stopped tightening, like it was waiting to see what she would do next. Then it came, soft, intimate, almost kind. "Kathrin." Her throat tightened instantly. Her instinct screamed to answer, even if only to say stop, even if only to swear, even if only to cry. Mikkel's voice cut through her panic. "Don't answer in your mouth. Don't answer in your mind. Let the name fall like snow." Kathrin clenched her jaw. She let the voice pass through her like wind through trees. The pressure shifted, irritated. "You're learning." Kathrin's hands trembled on her knees. Mikkel's voice lowered. "Now the hard part. You're going to hold the feeling of longing in your chest." Kathrin's eyes snapped open. "Why would I do that?" "Because it will use it anyway," he said. "We teach you to feel it without letting it steer." Her father stepped forward. "This is insane." Mikkel glanced at him. "It's survival." Kathrin swallowed. She looked at Mikkel, really looked at him. His exhaustion, his intensity, the way he held himself like someone who never truly rested. Longing rose immediately. Not romantic at first, just human. The need to be understood, to be held, to not be alone inside something impossible. Her mark flared faintly in response. The pressure from the mountains surged, pleased. Mikkel's voice sharpened. "Yes, it felt that. Now don't move toward it. Don't move toward me either. Just feel." Kathrin's chest ached. "This feels cruel." "I know," he whispered. "Do it anyway." She held the longing like a candle flame in her ribcage. Warm, trembling, real, without reaching for anything. without turning it into action, without letting it become a door. The mountain pressed closer. The hum inside her skull intensified, as if the stone itself leaned over her shoulder. Come. Kathrin's fingers twitched. Mikkel's hand lifted, hovering near her wrist but not touching. Stay. Kathrin breathed in, held, breathed out. The word come repeated, threaded through her pulse. Come, come, come. Kathrin's eyes stung with tears she refused to let fall. She didn't move. The house hummed stronger beneath her, steadying her spine. The mountain's pressure tightened, desperate now. It pushed images into her mind. Mikkel hurt in the hallway, blood on his palm, his voice strained. It tried to hook her with the instinct to run to him, to break Rule 3. Kathrin flinched. The mark burned sharply. Mikkel whispered, Don't follow the picture. It's bait. Kathrin's breath shook. It's showing me things. Yes, Mikkel said. And you're not taking the bait. The pressure surged again, harder, colder. The room temperature dropped several degrees. Frost licked along the edge of the window frame. Her father swore under his breath. Kathrin's mark flared bright. The house responded automatically, too fast. Warmth surged up through the floor, pushing back against the cold. Kathrin gasped. The pressure snapped away like a rubber band. Silence crashed down. Mikkel froze. His face went pale. No. Kathrin's heart slammed. What? He looked at her wrist. You didn't choose to call the house. It chose to protect you. Kathrin stared. Isn't that good? Mikkel's voice tightened. Not when it does it for you. That counts as leaning. Kathrin's stomach dropped. The journal, sitting on the side table, slid forward on its own and fell open with a soft smack. New writing formed instantly. First cost, she will lose something small, so she will believe me later. Kathrin's throat tightened. What does that mean? Mikkel swallowed. It means the house just took a payment. Kathrin went cold. What did it take? At first she didn't notice. Then her father spoke from the doorway, voice uncertain. Kathrin, what color is your shirt? Kathrin blinked. What? What color? He repeated slowly, like talking to someone in shock. Kathrin looked down at herself. Her shirt was a shirt. She knew it had a color. She knew it should be obvious. But when she tried to name it, her mind slipped, like a hand reaching for a doorknob that wasn't there. Kathrin's breath caught. Nothing came. Panic surged. It's Mikkel, Mikkel's eyes closed briefly, pain crossing his face. Tell me what you see. Kathrin stared at the fabric, heart racing. I see the shade, but the word is gone. Her father's voice broke. What do you mean the word is gone? Kathrin looked up, terrified. I can't name it. The house hummed softly, almost soothing. Mikkel's voice was low and steady, but it shook at the edges. It took something small. Not a memory, not a person. A thread, Kathrin swallowed. A thread of what? Language, he said. One simple connection. One harmless word. To prove it can. Kathrin's chest tightened like a fist. To prove it can take more. Mikkel nodded. The room felt suddenly too tight. Too alive. Too watchful. Kathrin whispered, I don't want to lose myself. Mikkel's gaze held hers, raw and honest. Then we train smarter. We make you stronger without forcing the house to spend you. Outside, far beyond the walls, Shadow Mountain waited in silence, not whispering, not calling. Listening, because it had felt the shift, and it knew something new now too. The house would pay to protect her. Which meant the mountain didn't only have to break Kathrin. It could bleed the house dry. Kathrin sat very still after that. Not because Mikkel told her to, not because the house demanded it, but because fear had changed shape. It was no longer loud. It was precise. She stared at the sleeve of her shirt again, trying once more to name its color. Her mind slid away every time, smooth and clean, like the word had never existed. She knew it was missing. She knew it mattered. And that scared her more than frost or whispers ever had. Her father crouched in front of her, hands trembling as he rested them on his knees. Kathrin, say any color. She opened her mouth. Red, blue, green, nothing. Her breath hitched. I know what they are. I just can't reach them. Mikkel watched from the edge of the room, face drawn tight. It took a connection, not knowledge. The house doesn't erase. It disconnects. Kathrin swallowed. So I'm fraying. Only if it keeps happening, he said. The house hummed softly, almost defensively. Kathrin's voice shook. I didn't ask it to protect me. No, Mikkel agreed. And that's why this matters. You didn't choose the cost. It chose for you. Her father's voice rose sharply. Then stop using it. Silence fell. Kathrin looked at him slowly. I can't, not entirely. And the mountain knows that now. Mikkel nodded. Which means it will provoke situations where the house reacts without your consent. Kathrin's chest tightened. Like tonight. Yes, he said. And worse. The journal slid closer again, stopping just within her reach. It did not open this time. Kathrin stared at it. I don't want it deciding what I lose. Mikkel met her gaze. Then you need rules of your own. Her father frowned. Rules? Limits, Mikkel said. Conditions. Boundaries the house can't override without consequences. Kathrin's heart raced. I can do that? You already have, Mikkel said quietly. When you refused the entrance. When you didn't follow me last night. She breathed in slowly. If I set rules, she said, will the house listen? Mikkel nodded. It will argue, but it will listen. Kathrin stood on unsteady legs and moved to the center of the room. The floorboards warmed slightly beneath her bare feet, attentive. She closed her eyes, not to listen to the mountain, not to feel the house, but to herself. I won't use the house to protect me from pain, she said aloud, voice trembling but steady, only from being taken. The hum shifted, uneasy. I won't call it when I'm afraid, she continued, only when I'm certain. The house creaked, low and strained. And, Kathrin added, heart pounding, I won't let it trade my humanity without my consent. Silence pressed in hard. Then, the hum steadied. Not approval, acceptance. Mikkel exhaled slowly. That was risky. Kathrin opened her eyes. So is losing myself one word at a time. The journal opened by itself now, pages flipping rapidly before settling. New writing appeared. Not her mother's handwriting. Kathrin's. Rule 5, she chooses the cost. Mikkel's breath caught. It accepted that. Her father stared. You're writing in it now? Kathrin nodded slowly. I think I always could. The room felt altered, sharper, more defined, like something had locked into place. Then Mikkel swayed. Kathrin's head snapped up. Mikkel? He braced a hand against the wall, jaw clenched hard. I'm fine. But his voice wasn't. It sounded hollow. Kathrin stepped toward him without thinking. The house hummed sharply. She froze mid-step. Mikkel's eyes met hers, alarm flickering through the pain. Don't. What's happening to you? She whispered. He swallowed. The mountain couldn't get you. So it's testing me. Testing how? His hand trembled as he lowered it from the wall. For a brief moment, Kathrin felt something brush her thoughts. Emptiness, not silence. Absence, like a room in a house she hadn't known existed. Suddenly gone. Mikkel's voice was quiet. I can't remember my mother's voice. Kathrin's heart shattered. What? I know what she sounded like, he said slowly. I know she sang to me. I know I loved it, but when I try to hear it... He shook his head. There's nothing. The mountain had found another way to take payment. Kathrin clenched her fists. It's punishing you. Mikkel nodded. It's probing. Seeing how much it can take before you break a rule. The house groaned, angry now. Kathrin felt heat rise under her skin. No. She turned toward the walls. You don't get to bleed him. The house surged, warmth flaring instinctively. Kathrin stopped it. She raised a hand, palm outward. No, not like this. The warmth hesitated. She breathed. Grounded herself. I'll handle it. The house settled, reluctant but obedient. Kathrin turned back to Mikkel, eyes fierce. It thinks I'll trade myself for you. Mikkel's voice was raw. Would you? She didn't answer right away, because the truth terrified her. Finally, she said, I won't let it force that choice. Outside, Shadow Mountain shifted. Not loudly, not violently, thoughtfully, because Kathrin had just done something worse than resist. She had begun to negotiate, and the mountain understood one thing very clearly now. Mikkel was no longer just leverage. He was a deadline.